Again, we're going to keep the party rolling. We get an opportunity to have women's national freestyle coach Clarissa Chun with us, Olympic gold medalist, Olympic bronze medalist. I've done that to everybody today. I've always upscaled them all. Olympic bronze. A couple more titles. Olympic bronze medalist and world gold medalist. There we go. I just always.
That's okay.
I like to say
if they don't know,
I'm ambidextrously dyslexic, so it's just, I don't know how to so we've got Clarissa Chun to work with us today. So thanks a lot. Let's give it a hand.
Hi guys. I know it's probably been a long day for you guys, but thanks for the opportunity to be here. Yeah, I guess we're going to go over par-terre defense. I don't know how the introductions have been made much, but I don't know where to start. Sorry. Out of anyone, I feel like this is, for me, out of my comfort zone. But I really enjoy being here, and I enjoy what Mike Clayton's doing with the coaches courses. So I was fortunate enough, I felt like I was in the era of wrestling when it was forced par-terre. And so that really, like, I had no choice but to work on par-terre. So we're not at a time where I feel that par-terre can change the game of the match. You know, you're good in offense, you could end a match. You could pull away matches with a strong par-terre game. Like Adeline Gray and her laces. Some people are just known for par-terre offense, right? But I think defensively you have to be very strong to keep you in the game, right? You get taken down, it can't be, oh crap, I didn't get my chance because I didn't have good defense. So I feel fortunate that I was in a time where par-terre defense, I'm a little nervous because Coach Gary Mayab's in the room, and Greco, their top-notch par-terre game is, you're either turned or not to be turned. So, I guess, do you just jump right into this?
Go for it.
Okay, right, okay.
You'll be more comfortable with the
yeah, I know. I'll just show rather than talk.
There you go.
So, I think par-terre, like any other situation, I think if you can beat them getting to it, just like hand fighting or any positioning, if you can beat them before they even get either a lock or whatever, that's always the first thing, right? You don't want to give them any opportunities to lock up or whatever. So this is Casey here. Casey. So if wherever Casey's going, if she's going to go upper body, right, I want to close off the opportunity for her to get underneath me. Okay, so for me, I like rolling my shoulders. I don't like I make sure that I don't get my arms too far behind my shoulders, whatnot. And so this was always an area that I like. To me, it felt like a game, right? Wherever they go, wherever Casey will attack, I'll close off. Right? If she wants to get underneath, I'll close off those handles, I would say, if it's upper body, if it's lower body. Also, I feel like just getting ahead of her, right? Like a lot of motion. Sometimes we just stay in one place. With wrestling, I like using all of my body. Like, although she's attacking up high, I might be sneaking my legs to trap her in or out. So to make her feel uncomfortable in her start position. How should I explain this? So Casey goes, right, for example, and if I just stay here and I just fight her off, she'll work, right? See, I just stay here. She'll eventually try to get something, right? So I like being able to get ahead of her. So if she attacks me, right, I keep moving so that way I can use my legs, trap her on the outside, trap her inside, so that way she has to keep moving, right? Like for me, if it were reversed, like if she keeps moving, then I always have to catch up to her, right? She keeps moving away from me, then I always have to reset myself. So that's kind of the way I think about par-terre defense. And so if she gets it locked, right? Say she gets a gut wrench lock, for example. A lot of times, some of our athletes think strength on strength. I'm just gonna hold this position. Coach said, like, elbows off the mat. Coach said, you know, head up, and I might be holding good position, but like I said, I want them to have to reset their positioning. So I don't want to just fight strength on strength, because eventually she's gonna like get that lift and score. So for par-terre defense, if it's a gut, I'll find that lock. So the one thing that when I'm working with our athletes, whether it's our cadets through our seniors, I'm always talking about finding that lock, right? Getting weight on that lock right here. You know, getting weight on there. I like pulling anywhere from my like rib cage, my chest, pulling everything down to through my legs, even through my thighs, pulling it down to the mat. So if she didn't have that lock, it would look like I was doing a Superman. You know, no, you're good. I'm like doing a Superman, right? Like all that weight, and I'm pulling down. Because sometimes they'll look at the lock and they'll pull down, but really it's lifting my hips up. So I like getting that, seeing that lock, feeling it, and rolling it, you know, as I look into her, for example, for a gut defense. When I start looking in, my far hip will go down. My shoulder that she's trying to break down goes up. And I'm rolling, okay? I like breaking the lock if I can. I don't know if Gary opposes or not. But so I like that, just moving. I can do even a circular looking in.
Are you anticipating where she's going to be, or are you responding to her position at the moment?
Yeah, so how she lines up, you know, and gets her gut wrench. You know, she's showing that she's going to go left. One, I can feel her shoulder pressure. Two, where her head is at. And then, and you know, I'll even use my legs to keep her out. You know, because it's not uncommon for them to switch at any time. So sometimes I don't want to like overdo it, you know, because if she were to switch, I gotta be aware and beat her to that side. And see, I'll crawl forward and towards her as that happens, because if I can, like I said earlier, if I can get ahead of her, then she has to reset her feet, and she would have to get ahead of me. It's kind of like a game. Like I like thinking of it like let's get one step ahead of her kind of thing. So, but so another thing that happens is like a lot of the athletes would be like, well, if I roll it down, then they'll just end up in a low gut, you know. And sometimes a low gut is harder to defend. I personally think it a little bit kind of is, but so then sometimes they'll roll it, and then now they're like, well, now they're on my hips, and those hips have handles too, right? So like for me, I use my hips, and I don't know how like Greco or if Gary does anything different, but I'll still use my legs, but I'll use my hips to like dig in to their arms and like pin that down, you know, pin their forearm down. Like, I don't know if Casey lifts, yeah, and like lift, right? So I can use my hips, start circling and just pinning that, you know. If I can't break that lock, I'll just pin it down. Sometimes I'll even like try to like bump her off and then keep crawling the other side. you know, I'll use my hips to bump her off. So another one is like high guts. High guts. That's, we want to get wider out. Weight on the lock still. And everything's like, high guts are a little different than like mid or low guts. I think you just want to get wide and like weight heavy. So my hips will come up more. Because usually when people do high gut, they really just want to lift, you know, lift and keep you tight to their chest, which is good. So I want to make sure I get that weight down and I just inch. Now I can work that mid gut once I get it like split there. So, but any questions on like gut defense?
Teaching gut defense, I know breaking the lock is important, but is there anything else that you think when we're teaching the kids this that they need to focus on? Like I know we have to keep our shoulders down, we have to keep our positioning, but besides that, is there anything that you recommend when you're teaching like a newer wrestler gut defense?
Yeah, gut defense is, I feel not everyone likes working it because no one likes getting their hands rode on and broken apart. But yeah, I think it's more like, for me, the key points for like gut defense is like weight on the lock and trying to break that lock. A lot of times, yeah, we do want like some positioning, but sometimes when I'm turning so hard in, my elbow will be on the mat rather than all the way up. Sometimes we over exaggerate this position and then we end up not having weight on the lock. So I definitely feel like when we're like teaching it, I really feel like having that like Superman kind of like pulling everything down on that lock and staying like heavy and like mopping that mat, because sometimes we'll get like too focused on like being up here, like head up, shoulder up, and elbows off the mat. So we'll get so focused on like having this ideal position in our head, but like look at all this, you can see, right? But if I can get like just weight and heavy and lower than what I think sometimes we imagine the position to be, sometimes we think, oh, the position needs to be like so high, but I think if we have weight on the lock and as we're moving through to break that lock, that's what I really want to achieve, is more find the lock, break the lock. Like find the lock, put weight on the lock, attack the lock, you know, more than, I don't want to be like this, you know, but if it does take us having to pull ourselves from here, right, I think it just depends on at what point they're gutting us at, you know, like if Casey had that shoulder pressure and she, say I had weight on the lock and she starts turning me and it broke my shoulder, you know, getting that big swim to get our shoulder back up to regain that position, you know, we can use our legs to keep her out, you know, because it'll be harder for her to drive off to the side, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes I don't mind having my elbows on the mat. I don't know. Sorry, Gary. But yeah, I really like focusing on the lock, just getting heavy on that, finding that weight on it. Yeah. So I guess laces would be another like defensive like par-terre position that we go, and it could jump, right? She could go like laces and then I come and then she'll go gut, right? So usually which I like, you know, that transition, you know, like, or recognizing if someone like offensively, I like recognizing if someone comes up too high to defend the lace, to jump to a gut, because I personally like gut wrenches, you know, like offensively. But actually, I would like to stay on the gut for a little bit longer. I wanna. Do you guys know the leg in? Did Terry show any leg in trap? Did Terry do?
He didn't do any guts.
No guts. Okay. So sometimes I don't like. We'll do leg in, trap, arm, gut transitions. So if I guess you're sorry, I'm trying to like spin around. I don't know where we're going. So if Casey were to get her leg in somehow, she were to get her leg in here to try to get a gut wrench. Do you guys know this transition where they have the leg in and they trap arm and go for a gut here? So, like, what do you think would be a defense for me to defend? Like, she doesn't have it locked up, but she has my leg. And
Get your knee back down.
I gotta get my knee back down. How do I get my knee back down?
Turn your left hip down and go forward a little bit.
Yeah. See, you can teach this. You got this, right? So, like, yeah, so that would be, like, the main thing. Leg in, like, she has a leg in. Turn my hip and just crawl forward, right? Stay ahead of that. I can use my foot. I can, like I said, I like using as much as my body as I can. You know, if I can find my foot on that knee to push off of it, that's good too. So I guess I'll go back to the laces.
Are you ever looking to put yourself in a position to score to get away?
Am I ever looking from bottom to, like, as a reversal to score? I feel like if it's if opportunities are there, you know, but most times I usually just stay solid in defending what they're trying to get, right? Because if Casey attacks, like, for a leg in, and I think that she wants a lace or whatever, I feel like I have to defend what she has then first before assuming what she's gonna go to, right? Like, for example, like if she guts me and right now she's gonna gut me towards the right? I'm not gonna assume that she's gonna go left. I have to respect that she's going right first before I can defend. I can only defend one thing at a time. But so if I found my opportunities to reverse, then I'll do that. But I won't try to compromise my position for something that might be there, right? So say she goes and she starts going to gut me, right? And I'm like, I'm never gonna like put myself in a position to allow her to gut me to try to step over, right? Like, I'm gonna try to fight the gut first, then to, you know what I mean? Like, so if she were to gut me, I'm not gonna be like, okay, go ahead, you can gut me, because I'm just gonna step over and then I might have missed it, right? So I'm gonna fight the gut and the position before I try to look to reverse or score. Only if I'm in position to, like, say if she left her leg behind or whatever, you know, she's here and then, but even being mindful that she could use her leg to trap my arm, right? So I don't, you know, like, just depends on, I don't, like, if I'm in a strong position to rebuild, you know, and elevate and face her, you know, and get on top, but I'm never gonna put myself out of position to reach for an angle to try to reverse or something, you know, so.
Like fading.
Yeah. But, I mean, that would be fun. Like, I sometimes think about that when I watch folk style. I'm like, oh, folk style is sometimes fun to watch because they throw themselves in position that, you know, in freestyle you give up points for, you know, and but there's a lot more opportunities to take those risks in folk style. I feel like when I watch it, I don't wrestle folk style, but But in the room, you know, like in the wrestling room, I will just play wrestle in that way to find myself in positions. Because I feel like wrestling is, like, I don't know if it's been said all day today, is positioning, right? Like, a lot of it is who's in the better position, and sometimes even when you're out of position, how to adjust your position to get back in better position. So, like, in the wrestling room, like, you guys were asking about, like, for younger kids, how to keep it fun, you know, and it's okay to get out of position, and when you do, how do you get yourself back in better positioning, you know? So laces, I guess. Yeah. Did Terry go over laces today? Laces.
Oh yeah.
Like-
Turks, arm Turks, all kinds.
Yeah,
The
Turks.
whole series.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I love Terry's series. Terry's so awesome. All of that stuff is good. Figure fours, all of that. So,
Yeah.
laces is I feel like a common, like, turn. I feel probably more in the U.S. than, I think Adeline has helped that, you know, like, awareness of, hey, laces, we can win a lot of matches in laces. So, you know, a lot of times overall in general, I like thinking of whatever the offense wants, defensively, that's what I'm going to try and take away from them, right? So for laces, it's like control at the knees, or, you know, like, so if they have their hands at their knees, you know, like, so defensively, I don't want their hands above the knees, you know, so whether it's me getting my knees wide so they don't capture both of them, if I'm on one side, like, so she has only one leg, then she has to get to this leg in order to get my lace, get the lace. Like I said, like, defending it before we even get it, right? Staying a step or two ahead of it, right? So if she is on one leg, you know, then it's like the leg, and I can just draw, you know, and with my legs straight as she's trying to capture my legs. If I can stay ahead of her and she has to, like, chase me down to get control of my legs, then I can at least bite off a few seconds of being in par-terre, and then ref will see there's no advancement, okay, bring them up, you know? So, like, laces, it's, you know, and then it's like, at what point, right? So say she gets here, you know, my hips can come into play. Yeah, she could probably trap toe, she'll grab that, get my knee ahead of it, knees wide. And I think a lot of times, we sometimes forget about our ankles, you know, and we think, knees wide, okay, they don't have a lace because my knees are wide, but then the ankles are still together, you know, and you still can get a leg lace with ankles, you know. So whenever I'm trying to defend a lace, it's not just my knees are going wide. I'm still got tension with my legs outwards, you know. I'm not just focusing on just knees wide, and then my ankles find each other, and then I'm screwed, you know. So whenever I'm thinking leg lace defense, I'm like, obviously knees wide, because that's where they're trying to control first. But as my knees are wide, I'm having those tensions against my ankles, like knees and ankles wide. I'm trying to get them apart from each other. And then the whole hips getting through, like, I'll use I think that's why I think yoga is good. You know, if you can put yourselves in positions where, I mean, like Jaden Cox and all those guys, Yanni, they can do, like, Whitney Condor, right? They're doing the splits, you know, like, try to leg lace that, you know, like, those legs are so far from each other, but, yeah, so that's my thought about leg laces. And it's okay to, like, peel hands, come back and say Casey's like on me here. It's okay to come back and try to close off, keep her head out, whatnot. Just fighting with your hands and tightening up those handles, those areas of handles for them. I think, because Terry did Turks, I feel like Turks are probably the hardest one to defend, in my opinion. But really, it's really, so if you did the like hand Turk or whatnot, he showed.
Yeah. So he had.
Yeah, so
Here.
yeah, and you have yeah. So I think, like for me, leg Turks are the more difficult one. Like if I could just block, like so for Casey, she wants to get her body towards me here. Closer, the tighter she is to my body getting here, that's more exposure. But for me defensively, I want to get my belly down. I'm probably facing the wrong way, I'm sorry. Let's go this way. Like I want to get my belly down, obviously, because if she climbs up, then I'm getting exposed. So for me, I think that I want to make sure that I get my knee over, you know, like I need that space. And this is the hardest part about this position for me. Whether it's over or through, I don't care. I just want my opposite knee, like through the other side of her. I don't want to get caught. I don't want to get caught here, you know. And then I can't. Maybe this might be a position I might, just to be able to wrestle. Like she might be able to lift and bump into me, you know. But I just might need it to buy some time to create space to get my opposite hip down and my knee through. Really, I think of my opposite knee through more than anything, because that will help me bring my opposite hip down. Same with the leg Turk, right? Because they're all the same concept, is like elevating that leg and getting that pressure towards me. And for me, I want that space so I can come back in. Because really, Turks can be pretty dangerous, you know, because you think, oh, I'm here, but I have nowhere to go, and especially if she blocks me off, you know, if she comes up towards me, it's hard. And when you go this way, you already gave up 2 points, right? She could maybe this, right? Probably Terry told you, but if I can find my hips all the way down to the mat, that's the most ideal. I don't want to give up points, so I definitely want to create that space between me and her, especially on my hips. Body Turks, he showed you guys body Turks, where they're between your legs and you're like this. Yeah, that's good luck, yeah.
Turn
You better, yeah. Maybe that could be a game, you know, you play with your kids, you know, because, I mean, that's hard, you know, because you need to find your hips down. I'll use my legs, though. I'll definitely, like, I grew up judo, and we've learned to use our legs, you know. I wouldn't stay here. I would be like a double leg defense, try to fight one side, you know. I don't want to try to fight both. That's too much. So I might shorten one side, kind of, you know, as they're trying to climb up to me. Obviously, this is dangerous because if I were her, I would find my hands and pull on them, you know. So it's like I'll sneak my knee in between me and her, like just so I can have that space between me and her.
Bail out.
Huh?
And bail.
Yeah, to give myself a chance to bail, you know. Because offensively, she wants to close that gap, right? Offensively, you want to. So any defense I think of is the opposite of what offense wants, you know. Offense wants to close that gap. I want space so I can get my hips down. Yeah. Any others? Sorry.
What would you recommend if you have a newer athlete or a little kid and they're newer to the sport, or they're just a little kid and they're wrestling with yourself for the first time, and they're getting taken down, but their issue is they wait for them to get the lock. So they go flat, they're like, okay, they're gonna get a lock and they're independent. How would you teach that transitional period from getting taken down to defending right away? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, yeah, and I think it could be a progression, right? Like first closing off, right? Like I said, like closing off those handles, but you're talking about the takedown to the turn transition. So, like I said, just getting ahead of them, you know, like whether or not they already have
So
lock.
continue to defend throughout to your defense of the gut.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you're saying taken down, so let's say Casey takes me down and they're already started.
They're just starting to go flat, because that's where we run into some issues, is they get taken down and they're like, okay, I have to go flat, I have to get my shoulders down, and they
Yeah.
start fighting the lock, but they almost wait to get locked up before they start defending anything.
Right. So you're saying once they get here, they're waiting
They're
for.
waiting for a lock.
Yeah. Then maybe it's like get motion off of it, like so that way they don't give them the opportunity to get the lock. But I don't think it's. I also don't think it's bad to work on like worst case scenarios sometimes, you know. So if it is like, but at the same after a takedown, get motion. Don't just like wait here
Right.
until they get a lock. Like off the takedown, get some motion.
Just have them drilled, don't, like just because they're taking down, don't stop the motion, so have them start to crawl as soon as they're taking down.
Or close off. Sometimes I'm like, okay, you know, I'm here, and then what is Casey gonna do? You know, like so. Say she takes me down, and I'm waiting for her to lock something. Okay, what is she gonna do? Okay, then I'll fight that.
Because I have some girls, they just wanna go flat, and they stop moving, they're like, okay, I have to wait for them to do something before I can do anything, and I can't really fix that without them.
Yeah, I guess it's more like when you get taken down. For me, I didn't want to be like this, that I'm all kinds of exposed, right? She could start legs, hands, right? I liked closing myself off. The referees probably didn't like it, but you know, I felt fine here. You know, it's no good. You're right. Caution one. That happened to me once.
Be open.
Yeah.
And
So.
caution one.
That we have to open?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what style it is. You can't block off. You can't attack hands. Unless it's around a head and arm.
What if they get that taken down though? Like if she immediately, like if I double like her to the side and she lands like that, does she have like 3 seconds before you call that, or will you?
I'd give her a little bit of time, but if she just stays there and starts circling towards her opponent, open.
So
Yeah.
like what if she puts that arm out and she starts circling?
She's still blocking off with the leg. Unless that leg's being attacked, she's still blocking off her hips and her ribs.
Yeah. I was so comfortable here.
Yeah. And until the last couple years,
Yeah.
we really as an official haven't really gotten that big on it until
Yeah.
the last few years. They've
Yeah.
had us in
Caution and
OEP
what?
clinics and everything
Yeah.
else. They want you to open.
Yeah.
So is there a way to compromise where you won't call me? You won't. tell me,
Even crawling forward, you can roll the lock, but you take 2 or 3 swim motions, place.
What about like circling?
Circling, you can do that all day long.
Yeah.
So if she lands in circles while I'm still trying to get my lock, but she's kind of closed off, but not really what you call it?
If she's still moving, she opens herself up and closes herself off. She's not
She's
closed
opening
the whole
and
time.
closing?
She's not just blocking, she's moving.
So if I double leg her and she goes to her side, she closes off, but she circles, so I continue to try my gut. She's opening and closing, so that's okay?
Yeah, that's fine, because she's opening herself up to attack, but still moving. She's not just sitting there blocking it off, saying, no, you're not getting that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That answers my question,
and
yeah.
moving forward, yeah, you can roll the lock, but now, if somebody starts crawling forward, I'm going to put my foot 3 feet in front of them. They crawl into my leg.
But if they're circling to the side, they won't?
If they're circling to the side, they're not going to run into my leg. They're not fleeing the hold.
Yeah, that's good. And honestly, and if it was a gut wrench, I want to kind of circle
Yeah.
one way or the other. Just depends what side they're trying to gut.
And you could roll a lock going backwards, too.
Yeah.
And that's perfectly legal.
Yeah.
You can drive back into them all you want.
Well,
Yeah,
the
you can
issue is
back
that
it
I just
up.
have girls that just want to go flat and they want to wait for them to do something, or they
Oh,
want to
yeah.
try and expose
Circle.
themselves more.
Circle.
So I was trying to figure out a way to help them land properly, so we can do the transition wrestling, so that way they can learn how to defend and do the gut
At the same time, yeah.
Yeah. No, that's good.
Yeah, the circling is your best option,
Yeah.
especially when you first hit the mat, because if you're circling, you can't circle without closing that off temporarily. You just can't.
hold
they
it.
close it off.
Yeah. 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 It's good. Yeah. Yeah, you can defend going backwards into
Yeah.
them, back up into them too.
Being an official, that's how I actually teach it.
Yeah, you like going backwards?
If possible, especially if they have like a low gut, I'll drive back into them all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. I always use my hip bones.
Oh yeah, drive that
So-
thing right into the wrist if you
Yeah.
can. Oh yeah.
So I comfort in that.
Just the same, like you can't attack the hands. If they're on a head and arm, either whether it's a side headlock or they come out front, now you can attack the hand, not the fingers, because they're on your throat.
Yeah.
But if they're just on a high gut or a gut wrench, you cannot attack their hands. You must attack from the wrists up.
I'll put that in mind.
Yeah. Oops.
I know.
I was like, I have two hands. Let it
Earlier,
go.
Terry was showing the knee pick where you come around the side driving in, and I'm thinking to myself, oh, that's so illegal. And he even said, he's like, yep, so most refs are going to call this illegal. And I'm like, dang, light bulb goes off.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
just started shaking my head. But yeah, because you get tremendous torque pressure, and there's the reason
For
why
the
it is
lace, are you
illegal
talking
is
about the lace when they're?
Yeah, when you rotate the ankle.
when you,
Uh-huh,
and
yeah.
you have that knee up on the hip,
Uh-huh.
and you drive the knee in to get that gut wrench.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah, yeah.
so
Oh, yeah.
illegal.
Yeah, that is.
But a lot of refs don't know that that's
Yeah.
illegal either. At least lower level refs,
Yeah.
they have no idea.
Especially if the foot's on the outside.
Yeah, just like grabbing the laces and the outside of the foot is okay, but you can't grab the toes.
Hmm. Yeah. Technicalities.
Yeah,
Yeah.
tremendous pressure on the
Just
kneecap.
keep doing it until you get bent.
Yeah.
And a good official is not just going to blow the whistle and say that's illegal. They'll say
Caution.
adjust.
Or yeah, or
Adjust.
Yeah.
Clarissa, are there any drills or games that you guys use in Par-terre in any of these defensive situations with the team?
Yeah, like, we'll do stuff like just like trying to get our lock, right? We're kind of trying to, like, she's gonna try to be tight and heavy, right? So the whole game is trying to get underneath and, you know, trying to get our lock and, you know, like if we get our hands locked, points kind of thing, because we definitely don't want them to get their lock, right? Even if it's here, you know, it's like trying to get the leg, lift the leg, try to, wherever it's trap toe or laces or whatnot, is defensively is just focusing on where they're attacking and closing it off or getting heavy on it, you know, closing it off.
Yeah.
You know, so we'll do stuff like that, trying to get under. But not a whole lot of games from there. It really is just feels like sparring. It ends up feeling like a spar. Yeah, but I wish there was. If you guys got game ideas,
I usually just teach the defense for it and let them play with it.
yeah,
Yeah, it's just a lot of playing.
yeah,
A lot of play.
playing, yeah,
Especially with the younger guys.
yeah, yeah.
So I noticed with the guys, they do par-terre like this all the time, but girls always go down like, because they can get their shoulders down.
Uh-huh.
Do you see? I mean, like there's no better one, right? But what is the benefits of each one?
I think it's like I really truly believe it's about the weight on the lock, right? So even if I'm like this, if my hips come up or if wherever the lock is, there's no weight on, then it really wasn't effective to come down, you know. And if I'm, like I said, if I'm too high and there's no weight, just depends where the lock is. I really like I can go down like this and I feel like I'm heavy, and even though my chest is down, for me, I like there is exactly, there is no, I feel like right here is heavy, right here, and I'm pretty up, and I can be here still and be heavy, and I'm lower. So for me, I think where the lock is where my weight's drawing through and trying to break that lock. And I try to look at it as I attack the lock that way. Yeah. Gary, do you agree or disagree, Mo?
No, that's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good.
I know. I don't want to go against, you know, like, yeah. Do you prefer one over the other?
I think that when we get to attack the source,
Mm-hmm.
the more that we get to do that, you know, I think the cleaner it gets. So,
Yeah, I think it's the beginning. It's very important. Like put your shoulder down. Don't give a lot.
Yeah.
Since it has a lot, like you say, more pressure is a lot. Not too high, not too down.
Yeah.
And just be focused. Make sure your arm is good position, no elbows, head, and pressure from your hands to progress line.
Yeah.
That's similar to what you say.
I think part of it is that you don't see near as many high guts in men's freestyle as you do in Greco and women's freestyle. It's just
I wonder
start-
why.
Because when you do a high gut in men's freestyle, a lot of times they like to lift it, so they got to get under it and you can grab the legs. Women usually don't lift it as much as they try to run it to the side.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I feel
It's
like,
just from my observation. of
no,
seeing
yeah,
matches.
I definitely feel like we try to tilt it more than.
Mhm. You do a lot more of the roll all the way through, as opposed to guys, they want to pick it up, step off it.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't even know what time it is. Sorry.
You're right on time.
Really?
Yeah, you're money. You got 1 minute.
I got 1 minute? Oh my gosh, girl, I was so nervous. I talk too much. Where do I start?
Can you talk a little bit about the EAP program?
Oh yeah, we have the Elite Accelerator program for our younger athletes at the training center. They're usually like, typically we want like junior to senior year in high school. We have a few athletes in the women's program. Tiare Ike, you might have heard, she won the US Open this past year. And she just recently took second at Junior Pan Ams yesterday. And then we have Macy Kilty that's just coming in this year, although she just is finishing up her senior year right now. And then we have Cameron Guerin from Washington and Emma Brunton from Washington. So it's our younger athletes, our development age group, we would say. And I really feel like overall, even like what men's freestyle and Greco are doing, it's if we wait, I think if we wait till they're in college or we wait till after college, it sets us behind, you know, like when we go to the cadet and junior world championships, and women's wrestling, Japan has been pretty strong and dominant there, and it shows that they're winning at the cadet age group. So we need to, sooner we start the better. The model, I think, has come and has shown, you know, like Henry Cejudo, he's lived and moved to the training center when he was 16 and, you know, got his Olympic gold. Kyle Snyder, you know, so I think that model of being able to help, you know, like develop at a younger age group and still continue school. So the EAP in Colorado Springs, at the training center, they go to school at a charter school at Spring Studio, and it allows them to be able to travel and train. You know, they go to classes, they go to the actual school maybe twice a week, and then they have a tutor on site at the training center, and they do a lot of online classes, so they are able to like travel overseas. And like Tiare, for example, she had the opportunity, like she's like, I've traveled more overseas I ever have than anywhere else in my life. Like, and she just turned 18. She went to Austria, Germany, and Sweden over the winter, you know, and she also has been in Puerto Rico with our senior national team. And there's some challenges, you know, being a younger athlete training at at least for the women's program. Like for the women's program, most of our residents are training at the training center, are senior level athletes, are on senior national teams and stuff. So like there were some struggles for Tiare, you know, being a development age group. like cadet junior age group, because she's getting her butt kicked every day in the room, you know, and for her, she knows it's the process and the journey, and her little wins is defending certain things or finishing a takedown. She might not win the match, but there's little wins within her practices. So I'm excited to see her grow through, and she hasn't even been there a whole year yet. So, but yeah.
And then if the coaches have young ladies that are looking to do camps,
Yeah.
could you just explain the camp system a bit?
Yeah, so we have, for our women's program, currently this summer, our camps are strictly like to help get our cadet and junior world and Pan Am team ready for the summer. And throughout the year, like fall, winter, and spring, we'll have development camps. We have 4 of them, and we want to try to get them across the country. Like, well, as of now, we have one in Phoenix in December. We're trying to get one at SEM in October. SEM, Wyoming Seminary, is like our development program out there, like with our high school age younger team out there in Kingston, Pennsylvania. So USA Wrestling and Wyoming SEM, Coach Aaron Van Veer, you know, we work together, and we're gonna have a camp there in October, and we'll have one in March. We haven't decided exactly where, if it'll be like Minnesota or somewhere else, and then we'll actually go back to the East Coast in April, right before Gotham. So that's our plan for location. The only one that is 100% set is the one in Phoenix. It just works out there every year for us, and hopefully the one in SEM for sure. So, but yeah, get your girls out. You know, how many of you guys have girls on your teams? Yeah, it's good. It was awesome. It's huge. It's an exciting time with the emerging sports status that they got. You know, I think opportunities for women is so good.
They just announced NCAA is going to have women's Greco this year.
Wow.
Yes. They
That's
announced it last night.
Whoa, I need to learn Greco. Yeah, I only got judo throws under my belt, so I could arm spin ya. I could front headlock throw ya.
That's where a lot of my throws came from, so I
Yeah. But the setup's gotta be harder though. I can't fake a leg to a throw though. They ain't gonna pie on that.
Position and balance.
Yeah. That hand fighting. So, but thanks guys.